This is the Business Owners IT Podcast with Anthony Garish and Ryan Carter, where tomorrow's technology meets today's conversations.
Hi, I'm Tony Garish.
And I'm Ryan Carter, and this is the Business Owners IT Podcast.
A podcast where we discuss tips, tricks, and solutions for business owners involving all things tech.
Well, pardon our dust is over, Tony.
Yes.
We are in the new studio in the cleaned up area, site unknown.
Yeah. No, site unknown. It's our basement of our office building.
Secret site. You wrote
But
it.
yeah, so, this has been fun actually doing these podcasts. And I hope some people are enjoying them, I hope. But we decided to be able to do it right from our place. We were actually renting an office of somebody that had some podcast equipment. So,
Yeah.
it gives us a lot more flexibility, and we're going to try to do a lot more cool things like be able to bring up our screen. And, I've challenged Ryan to be able to maybe detonate some malware and stuff as we get it through email and stuff from our customers and ourselves.
Yeah, we'll come up with some fun stuff to do, like this underwater scene.
Yeah.
John does not like when I do that to him. He is shaking his head. Back to Chicago. There it is.
Fancy.
And then he'll put up something really nice back here because we got a fancy screen now. So for this one, it's not our maiden. I'm not even going to call it maiden voyage because I didn't get too ready for it. But it's funny because my topic I put on here was put Intuit on blast. Unfortunately, it's not their fault. It's my fault because I must have allowed it through our Barracuda. And we've been getting a lot of emails from Intuit lately. Is that right, Tony?
Yeah, and I don't know that it's your fault, Ryan, because most people are going to want to whitelist, Intuit. I mean, Intuit.com, that's QuickBooks, right? That people are getting invoices from them, and people are getting, they do also do a lot of marketing emails, right? So, at some point we probably whitelisted them because, we wanted to get their emails, right? So, but over the last couple of days, and I'm looking at my laptop here, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and today, I've been inundated with emails that are coming from Intuit.com. Now, the reason they're getting through our spam filter, right, is because it's whitelisted. So before this, I asked Ryan. I said, "Hey, Ryan, are you sure they're coming? You sure they're coming from Intuit?" So he went in and he looked. He said, "Oh no, they're not coming from Intuit. Where are they coming from?" He determined that they were coming from other places, and the reason they got through is because they are whitelisted. But you've also mentioned that they can also do it through getting free QuickBooks Online, right?
Yeah, so, that's when I first saw it.
Yeah, like if you sign up for QuickBooks Online and you set it all up, you could actually maybe get away with it for 90 days where you're sending actually really real things from QuickBooks Online, like real invoices from them, trying to get somebody to pay it.
Yeah, and you know what? They may have, QuickBooks might, Intuit might have gotten smart to that and stopped it, and that's why we're starting to see them from outside sources. And maybe that's why I went down the wrong path to begin with. Yeah,
but if I look at my email, right, so I'm going to look at this, right, and I'm looking at about, I would say, a whole page of emails from Intuit. I just searched, I said, hey, from Intuit, right? I have ones that look like they're coming from RingCentral.
Yeah, or
right?
DocuSign.
And I got one from DocuSign, right? That's actually a URL, right? So I got these things that say they're voicemails. I have one that says like it's pretending like it's sending me a voicemail, right? But when you open it up and you actually look at it, and maybe I can forward some of these to John and he can bring them up on the screen. When you go to like where roll over like play audio, it's not, this is a voicemail. It's not a RingCentral. It's not a RingCentral URL. It's, this one, I don't even know what it is. But again, what they're trying to do is get you to click on these things. So you really, really got to be careful, right? Because you're trusting that it's from Intuit because it says Intuit.com, but somebody's just sending email using their domain name.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to do. And, but if you whitelist it, it's going to get through.
Yep.
And I would have thought that maybe SPF and DMARC would have taken precedence over the domain name being whitelisted, but I guess not.
No, once you do the domain name, it's pretty much all or nothing after that. That's why we tell our people to make sure that they only whitelist by DMARC or DKIM wherever the problems are.
And so I thought I was the only one getting them, but then when I mentioned it, again, Intuit.com, Ryan says, "Oh, I'm getting nailed too." And it's like we're really getting hammered hard with phishing emails that look like they're coming from Intuit.
And the thing is, too, is on some of these newer ones, they're not saying who they're coming from. I've had them before where they said they were like shareholder documents coming from certain people. And at that point, I know I could call that person in question and be like, hey, did you really send this to me? It's just verify.
Right. Yeah. And we can, like I said, we can give some of these to John and he can bring them up on the screen and you guys can see some of them. We'll forward it to it. And they're just basically phishing emails and they're trying to catch somebody and they get tricky. Sometimes I look at them, I even have to second guess 3-4 times, really look closely at them myself.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And usually another thing with the Barracuda is it does the sandboxing, right?
Yep.
But some of the links that the way they're doing it, they're not getting sandboxed because they're actually using like Google or something as a URL that's kind of redirecting you places.
You know what? We talked about sandboxing in our in the CIS framework. We want to give a quick rundown, like what that actually means for the business owner.
Yeah. So sandboxing is when you click on a email, right, and it actually detonates in the cloud. Mm-hmm. So it's actually detonating. It detonates before you actually get to it. So it happens pretty quickly, but it'll actually detonate like at Barracuda, and then it'll either block it or let it go through.
Yeah. So Barracuda's kind of opening it and testing it for you before you get.
Yeah, and then you'll see sometimes even our RMM agent, like we'll email it to somebody, right? And then they go and click on it. It'll actually like detonate and then it'll put a computer in there and we don't know what it is.
Oh, and some random name. It was like one was like a Shelly one time and I was chasing Shelly down for months. Like, who is this
How
Shelly?
Is this happening?
Coming to find out it's Barracuda opening it as we're sending it out. And because they detonated it, it actually started an agent.
So like, we're trying to install this software agent, RMM agent on a computer and then it detonates in the cloud and then it creates a device in our RMM that we don't know what it is, and then everybody's freaking out. Well, how did this happen? And here it is because we sent a link to somebody that we couldn't get on their computer remotely to install the RMM agent.
Yep. Learning experiences, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, phishing and spam and it's just getting worse, and it's getting better and better with the use of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because now I can go out and say, hey, write me an email requesting payment and here's my information. And it's going to craft a beautiful email for you using, artificial intelligence, large language model, right? That now anybody can paste into an email and send it.
Yeah. Make it sound like I'm from the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And make it sound like you're from the U.S., right? You get rid of the word kindly. I used to say there ain't nobody in the U.S. that says kindly send me a payment. It's like, no, send me the payment. You owe me the money. Here's my ACH information. So it's getting harder and harder, and these fakes are getting better and better.
Yep. Again, goes back to verifying.
Right. How many tickets do you think we get a month for just spam and viruses and coming through email?
Well, people that report them, I'm going to say 10 plus a day.
Yeah, so we're getting 10 a day, right? Of people. We want them to report them too because this way we can investigate them, just like Ryan investigated this before our podcast.
And another good one too is our clients are now they're starting to see emails from us about incident response with Barracuda.
Yeah,
and this is a really good one because now we give a button from Barracuda to report in your Outlook.
Yeah,
and when you report that, it automatically pulls it out of your inbox and anyone else that got that same email and puts them in their junk folder. So it gets rid of it, and it's really cool.
And then so for that though, right? So we've actually deployed that on all of our clients, right? Actually, we went into Micro 365 and did whatever we did for all of them.
Yep. Anyone that has that Barracuda total email protection plan. Yep.
So then what he's saying is when you open up an email, you'll have a thing up there that says you can report it as spam. And then I think that we can actually do some stuff too. We can take action if we determine that it is spam or is a phishing email. We can click a button and it pulls it out of everybody's inbox.
Yep. So they can pull it out of everyone's inbox by reporting it because it's automatic remediation we have set up.
Okay.
But also if there's another one that got through and you call and tell us and you didn't want to report it and we just do the work, we can check. The next best piece is we can check all the inboxes that got them and actually know who clicked and opened that or followed that email and did the work, got compromised.
Okay, so if I was to report all of these Intuit ones, it would rip it. If other people got the same email, it would rip it out of their box right now?
Exactly.
Awesome.
And that's
something
when we have our
to
screen up, I'll show you.
Yeah, we have to communicate that to to some of our customers.
Yeah, and John G wrote that email, and he did a great job with it.
Awesome. Did we send it out to everybody?
Yep, send it out, and it's we got a nice YouTube video on how to do it. It's great.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, I'm sorry that we're always harping on email, but it's the main point these days of causing mayhem.
Yep, always has been. It's the Wild West sometimes still with email. Yep. So I don't have a tip of the week except for watch your email.
Yep. All right. I would like to thank everybody for joining the podcast, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week where we talk a little bit about what Office 365 Management is becoming. It's becoming a beast, I'll tell you that much. Thank you.
Unique Computing Solutions. Your IT challenges solved.